Hi everyone, welcome back to the Web3 channel. My name is Zach. In this video, we're looking at the SEC hitting BlockFi with a very substantial penalty of 100 million USD, and it's giving 60 days to comply with a 1940s law. Let's go into what's happening here. The penalty comes after heightened regulatory attention to crypto lending platforms. On February 14, today, or at the time of recording, the SEC announced actions against crypto lending company BlockFi over its failures to register high-yield interest accounts that the agency deems to be securities. New Jersey-based BlockFi will pay 50 million USD in a settlement to the SEC and another 50 million USD to 32 states that brought similar charges. There are some of the heaviest penalties ever imposed by a US federal regulator on a crypto service provider. The firm also agreed to stop onboarding new customers to the unregistered service, BlockFi interest accounts, and attempt to bring it into compliance with the Investment Company Act of 1940 within the next 60 days, or roughly 2 months. BlockFi interest accounts, launched in March of 2019, allowed investors to lend their crypto assets to the platform in exchange for a monthly interest payment of up to 9.5%, significantly higher rates than interest-bearing deposit accounts in most traditional financial institutions offer. Despite the widespread critique that securities laws written in the 1930s and 1940s could have limited applicability to digital asset-based products, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler lauded the settlement as an instructive precedent for crypto lending platforms, saying in a statement the following: "Today's settlement makes it clear that crypto markets must comply with time-tested securities laws, such as the Securities Act of 1933 and the Investment Company Act of 1940. It further demonstrates the Commission's willingness to work with crypto platforms to determine how they can work into compliance with those laws." Crypto lending products began attracting increased scrutiny from both federal and state regulators last summer. According to a January report, the SEC was investigating products similar to BlockFi interest accounts offered by Gemini, Celsius Network, and Voyager Digital to determine whether these offerings constituted securities. Looking at the actual SEC Gov document itself, we can see the following for immediate release. Let's go through it real quick as we can. BlockFi agrees to pay 100 million USD in penalties and pursue registration of its crypto lending product. The company also agrees to attempt to bring its business into compliance with the Investment Company Act of 1940 within 60 days for immediate release. The SEC today charged BlockFi Lending LLC with failing to register the offers and sales of its retail crypto lending product. In its first of its kind action, the SEC also charged BlockFi with violating the registration provisions of the Investment Company Act of 1940. To settle the SEC's charge, BlockFi agreed to pay 50 million USD, seize its unregistered offers and sales of the lending product, BlockFi interest accounts, and attempt to bring its business within the provisions of the Investment Company Act within 60 days. The parent company also announced that it intends to register under the Securities Act of 1933 the offer and sale of a new lending product. In parallel actions announced today, BlockFi agreed to pay an additional 50 million USD in fines to 32 states to settle similar charges. This is the first of its kind in respect to crypto lending platforms, and we have already read this announcement out already, except for it further demonstrates the Commission's willingness to work with crypto platforms to determine how they can come into compliance. I'd like to thank and commend our remarkable SEC staff and state regulators for their efforts and collaborations on this settlement. Crypto lending platforms offering securities like BlockFi's BIAs should take immediate notice of today's resolution and come into compliance with the federal security laws, said the director of the SEC's Division of Enforcement. Adherence to our registration and disclosure requirements is critical to providing investors with the information and transparency they need to make well-informed investment decisions in the crypto asset space. According to the SEC's order from March 4, 2019, until today, BlockFi ordered and sold BIAs to the public. Through BIAs, investors lent crypto assets to BlockFi in exchange for the company's promise to provide a variable monthly interest payment. The order finds that BIAs are securities under applicable law, and the company therefore was required to register its offers and sales of BIAs, but failed to do so or to qualify for an exemption from SEC registration. Additionally, the order first finds that BlockFi operates for more than 18 months as an unregistered investment company because it issued securities and also held more than 40% of its total assets, excluding cash, in investment securities, including loans or crypto assets, to institutional borrowers. The order also finds that BlockFi made a false and misleading statement for more than 2 years on its website concerning the level of risk in its loan portfolio and lending activity, without admitting or denying the SEC's fines. BlockFi agreed to a cease and desist order prohibiting it from violating the registration and anti-fraud provisions of the Securities Act and the registration provisions of the Investment Company Act. BlockFi also agreed to cease offering or selling BIAs in the US. The SEC's investigation was conducted by Gwen Liccardo, Greg Welter, and Kenneth Gottlieb, with assistance from Brent Wilner under the supervision of others as well. That being said, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear your take. Of course, always interesting seeing the SEC doing heavy-handed approaches, shall we say, to certain crypto companies. And of course, we're going to see so much of this over the next decade, as we have already been seeing. And the question is, of course, how does everything get ironed out in the end? We'll, of course, be updating you with everything happening on that, with the Web3 channel being, of course, covering everything happening with crypto, NFT, and metaverse news. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next Web3 video.